Okay, it's a quick video for the Moondrop Stellaris. This is kind of unboxing and first impressions of this set. This is the back of the box. It's an exploded view of the driver. I'm not sure if this is a proprietary driver or if this is kind of a revision of a lot of the ones that we've already heard. Not really sure. That's the front of the box. If you open up the box, on the inside you get, I think these are called spring tips or something like that. Large, medium, and small. Foam tips, large, medium, and small. Quality control, number 12, other literature. You also get a cable that kind of reminds me of those Rosencrantz cables. This is going along with the theme of the blue and gold of the Stellaris, which is kind of like the Starlight. This matches. It's nice. It's like a decent cable. I've already used it and wrapped it back up. Didn't have any problems with it. If you open up the case, all of those things are inside here. Then you've got the case itself, and then you've got the buds, which they're quite weighty, but they're absolutely stunning in their looks. This is just gorgeous. It's got, you can see where the 2-pin is. It's kind of like the Twilight, which I think that's maybe the best dynamic driver I've ever heard in my life. The Soft Ears. Soft Ears is an absolutely beast of a company. But back to this set. This is kind of sits like that in a way. These are just so gorgeous. They're notably heavy in the hand. Let's go ahead and take a look at the frequency graph. Turn over slowly here. This is the graph. Let me steady up. This is a graph of the Stellaris with silicone tips. You can see it's got sub-bass, mid-bass, mids that is very much like the Timeless if I throw that up there. They're really not that different. The graphing of the Stellaris looks more matured as far as the tuning goes, whereas the Timeless is kind of typical of 6 months ago Planars. A lot of roughness up in the treble when you're graphing it and trying to get a steady hold on it. This is notable because it's got more energy past 10 kilohertz. My first impressions of listening to this set. Okay, this is the first impressions video for the Moondrop Stellaris. I'm not really sure which is the correct pronunciation, so I'll just mix it up as I go along. I'll be quick and to the point as much as I do or can do. The sub-bass over mid-bass and the mids and to the upper mids is very kind of almost prototypical of a lot of dynamic drivers and their tuning. And in the replay, listening to my library, specifically, the soundtrack to Menace to Society, track number 1, which starts with the N-word, so I can't mention it. It's got a low N-word, it's got no heart. It's got a low drone at the beginning, and it's a deck mixed, and a lot of it's in the sub-bass. It's supposed to have a lot of energy there. Rolled sub-bass is a huge problem. Headphones can't play this. It sounds fine. Sounds great. Tupacalypse Now, same thing. Low drone followed by a synthesized keyboard that comes in gen. That's a little bit intense, but the low frequency events were fine. When I get to something like Fleetwood Mac, the chain, doon, doo, doo, doon, doo, doo, the bass guitar sounds fine. There's nothing wrong with low frequency presentation, whether it's synthesized sounds like deck mixed or keyboards or synthesized bass guitars like what might be the case on Big Boy Killjoy. That might be a triple drop followed by basically a fake bass guitar. But on Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing, which is a real 4-string bass guitar, it actually sounds authentic. It sounds fine. So low frequency, I like. There's not a problem with that at all. When I listen to the mids and I listen to, again, the same track as the bass guitar solo or semi-solo, the chain with the vocals, there's a kind of a chorus that goes on during that song, and the vocals are slightly, just a bit in my face. However, the resolution quality of the replay is so high that I consider it to be almost a specialty set in the same way that a bassy set that's got decent technicals but is warm and bassy is a mood set that I would pick for because I'm in the mood to just chill and listen to it like that. This would be a planar I might do the same thing with because it sounds so good. I'm not a moron though. I play one on YouTube, but I'm actually not one. They don't say anything about being a special custom driver. They just say it's 14.5. They explain what a planar is. And they did some stuff to it, I guess. It's in a high density material, a metallic. It's quite heavy. That does very well with dynamic drivers that are in those type of shells, as opposed to plastics. Resins do well too, but metal shells really seem to do great. Is that part of what it is? I really have no idea. I'm not going to say it's the most highly resolving and someone later say, dude, it's the same driver. It probably is, because they're not saying it isn't. But the way that they tuned it, and it being in a metal shell, it sounds really, really good. And if you're into micro details like finger slides on strings, pedal pushes on pianos, breathing on mics that you can catch on some high quality replay but you can't on others, this will be a set that you would probably very much like, though you might turn the volume down just a little bit like I did, because when I listened to Vivaldi, I did exactly that. I liked the replay, but I thought it was a little bit, I needed to turn it down a little bit. But once I did that, I was getting an excellent replay, and I thought it was excellent. It had no problem here. So the bass is fine. The upper mids are in fact pushing vocals up a little bit, but I'm okay with that because it's doing it in a good way. The problem that I have, and it's the only one that I have, I thought fit would be, but I don't have a problem with fit. CP100s. For the Win, these actually fit pretty good. It's got a long nozzle and it goes in good. I'm not having a problem with that. My one issue would be, and yours might be, so just be warned, is if you listen to rock and roll, genres from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or current, it doesn't matter. This is a cymbal strike, and it's on a track called Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? I'm going to show you a visual now. This entire region, this is the cymbal. This is the fundamental portion of it right here, and this is the harmonic extension that goes all the way up, and you can maybe not see it on this video, but it goes quite high. When you boost up the 10 to 15K, you're going to have artifacts or events that are going to sound atypical to you, because most sets aren't tuned with that area boosted, and you'll pick it up. You like or don't like that. That's your personal opinion. Objective, subjective. It's a subjective thing whether or not that's a good thing, obviously. For me personally, if I listen to this, I'm going to play this for you. This is at 13.5 seconds of Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? Off Led Zeppelin Coda. It's the final bonus track. It's easy for you to find on the internet. If you can get a decent quality, 13.5. Here we go. Stop before we get into vocals, because I'll definitely get dinged. This is all the harmonics of that, which is the cymbal strike. That sounds very much alive, and if I listen to rock and roll a lot, this set would become fatiguing, or I would turn it down even more. Be aware about that. What do I like? The bass. I think it sounds good. I like the fit. I like the build quality. What do I not like? The upper harmonic overemphasis can possibly be fatiguing. The ear gain region boost can maybe be the same. For this reviewer, I find it to be, it's just giving me a more of a sense of clarity. It's not a bad thing. There's dynamic drivers that have the same amount of gain boost, and I find it to be fine depending on how if the bass is anemic relative to that boost, it's double. It's boosted and it's emphasized to my brain because there's a lack of bass balancing it out. That's not the case with this set. This set does have sub bass over mid bass. It does correct itself in the mids. The tuning is fine. The upper harmonics are emphasized clearly. That's something you like or don't like, I guess, is going to be down to personal taste and also the library that you choose to listen to. If I were to listen to this set, it would be probably with Vivaldi and other stuff, and I would turn the volume down just slightly. There's a lot of lack of love for this set right now on certain communities online, and it's puzzling because I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, this sounds as clear as any earphone I've ever heard. It's intense, but I don't know how you get super resolving and you don't have the possibility of there being a line of fatigue right there, right where you're saying something is getting every little detail. That itself is implying a fast onset of fatigue. Am I correct? Of course I'm correct. You're bombarding your brain with information. That's going to make your ears and your brain get fatigued. This is exactly what this set is doing. not because it's sharp, not because it's harsh, not because it's got a metallic, not because it's got an odd sheen. It's just giving everything to me, plus that extra boost in the harmonics. It's going to be a take it or leave it set. I'd take it because it's doing a clarity and resolution level that I don't have on any of the other planars. In that sense, I think it's fantastic. Just be aware of the upper harmonics and how that might impact your library. That's it for first impressions. I'll put this in a Planar Wars probably later. Look out for other reviews. For a rock and roll, EDM, hip-hop, reggae library, it's fine. Watch out for the rock and roll with the cymbal strikes, and you might turn it down a little bit just to maintain that high res, but not get fatigued. That'll be you and your little dial that'll decide where that spot is. If you don't want to put up with that, this wouldn't be the set for you. That's the greatness of the game, because there's probably one coming out tomorrow or next week. Good job, Moondrop. And also Soft Ears. That Twilight is a beast. I love that set. Video coming for that. And I'm out.